Hello, happy Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well. We have two cards tonight. Let me see what I did with the with the stamp set Light the Sky. Hi Margaret. How are you, honey? I got your Christmas card. Thank you so much. So it's Light the Sky, and it comes with coordinating dies, also called Light the Skies. And it actually, let's see how, not too bad. You can cut out, and it looks actually like this here at the bottom. It cuts out the fireworks, and then you can see it embossed some little dots. And it has it with stars. So it's a really fun stamp set and die set. Great for New Year's, birthdays, anything festive and fun. And believe it or not, the background paper is actually the Stargazing Designer Series paper. You'll remember from the annual catalog, it was this paper right here. And that, hey Kathy, and that is the background to the card tonight with the distressed gold. And then I'm using some of that Night of Navy and gold glitter ribbon. And then just Happy New Year embossed on the inside. And like I said, I die cut and then embossed. And then for this card, it's the same Designer Series paper background. And I embossed the fireworks in white and in gold. And then you'll notice on the bottom, these are the snow mounds from Horse and Sleigh. And here are the trees from Horse and Sleigh. So we're looking out at the fireworks through the trees. And it just says, let's celebrate. Hey, Do. All right. So that is what we're doing for tonight's cards. So let's get started. I'm going to do this one first. Okay. And we are going to start out with some Night of Navy. And it's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. All right. Then I have a piece of distressed gold. And the distressed gold measures, let me just check it here, because I'm not 100% sure. 5 1/4 by 4. And to save, so I won't waste a whole layer, I actually die cut a piece out, and the light doesn't even do this justice, but I die cut the center out with the scallop contours. Hey, Karen. The scallop contours die, just so I wouldn't waste so much paper. I can use this for another card. All right, so we have that 5 1/4 by 4. And then, like I said, we have the Stargazing. You can see here's the back, the Stargazing Designer Series paper. And this is what we're going to emboss. So let me just pull out a piece of scrap paper here. All right. All right, so here is our scrap paper, and this should be 5 by 3 3/4, and it is. And we're going to pull out some Versamark. And I am going to pull out some Night of Navy. I actually have everything in a box tonight, so I don't get myself all messed up. And then we have our large and our small fireworks. And with the small one, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take some Night of Navy, and you really don't see it. Let's see. Oh, you can see here we have some smaller ones. We're just going to ink up this small little firework, and we're just going to stamp it on the background just like that. Oops, got ink on my finger already. And what I'm going to do is, you know that if you stamp with our ink pads and then you emboss, hey Kathy, me too. If I put embossing powder on this, it is going to catch that ink, the Night of Navy ink. So I'm just going to heat it up just a little bit to dry it off. And just make sure it's dry. And I'm also going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to hit this with the embossing buddy. All right, just to make sure. Then I'm going to grab my Versamark. I'm going to grab some gold embossing powder and the large display of fireworks. And we're going to ink this up. Happy anniversary, Karen. And we are going to stamp this background now with Versamark. And we're going to put one here. And we're going to hit it once more in this bottom corner. And I'm just going to turn this over just in case. And we're going to add our embossing powder. Make sure I hit it all. I think I did. And even right here, what did I do with that? Even though I dried it, it still is on that one. We're just going to hit this one right here. All right, now we're going to grab our heat gun and expose our gold. I love watching it come to life. All right. Now, oh, you're welcome, honey. Yep, they're still hanging in there, Karen. I'm telling you, Color Street is the way to go. It lasts way longer than any nail polish I've ever used. So it is well worth its weight in gold. All right, so there are our fireworks. Okay. And we are going to add this to our gold layer. But before we do that, here we go. You know I don't like wrapping and tying, but we are going to cut a length of ribbon and I am going to add this to the back with some glue dots before I adhere the layers together. This way it has a little bit of a foundation. I'm just going to add these glue dots. You know me, I just do not like wrapping and tying, even if it is just a knot. I just don't like it. All right, let's grab some glue. I'm actually going to adhere this with some glue, and we have to stay pretty close to the edge. Since I cut the inside of the layer, we need to make sure that we keep our glue on the outside so it catches our foil. We want to make sure it's on here straight. All right. And then I'm going to grab my card base, whatever I did with it. There. That's not it. Here it is. And we're going to adhere this, excuse me, to the front before I tie my knot. You guys know I just don't like tying, wrapping and tying. I like to cheat. So we're going to give ourselves a nice sturdy foundation. Whoops. So I can tie this knot well. All right. So we're just going to layer this right on the front of the card. Oops. See if I can scoot it over a little bit. There we go. And all I'm going to do is tie it off into a knot. Grab my scissors. All right. So just a very simple front of our card. Yeah, the ribbon is really, really pretty. All right, so let's head to the inside. The inside of the card is just as easy as the outside. We have some Native Navy 5 1/4 by 4, and then our basic white 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to first emboss our sentiment, and I'm going to actually put it on here. And it just says, wishing you a happy new year. So let's ink it up with our Versamark. And I'm actually going to, I try to line it up with the bottom. Hopefully it's on there straight. Let's grab our scrap paper. I'm going to actually turn the heat gun on. I really don't want this layer to... Thanks, Margaret. Hey, Paula. Thank you. Do you, Kathy? I'm terrible when it comes to, like, I like to cheat, so... All right. Whoops, I just spilt my embossing powder. All right, so I want to just get some of the excess off. All right, there we go. I want to show you what I did. See? I spilled it. And embossing powder is so messy to begin with. I guess I should probably use the tray that I have, right? Oh, we'll just keep that right there. I'll pick it up when we're done. All right, so now that I have this embossed, what I'm going to do is grab my dies, and I'm going to have to get up and use my die cutting machine. And I am actually going to take this die here, and we'll add it right about there. And then I have this die that's going to emboss all the little dots. Yeah, I don't like using the tray either, Margaret. That's why I don't use it. Isn't that terrible? I should, though. It would save so much. All right, so let me just run this through. All right, so you can see there's the little dots. And then when we pull this off, let me grab my pokey tool. Where are you? There it is. And we're just going to poke out these pieces. Just like that. Let's grab our layer, and I'm actually going to add the seal to this. So I make sure that I get it all around the edges, because this layer is a little bit warped naturally from embossing. I just want it to stick right where I embossed it. We're just going to layer this together. So how is everybody doing with their Christmas shopping? Yes, it was. Pretty neat, right? That's why I embossed the writing, so I could show the Night of Navy through the basic white layer. And I'm just going to grab my glue eraser, because I have just a little bit of glue right there. There we go. And one right there. All right, so there's our inside, and there is our outside. So you could switch it up. You could always put happy birthday all done and under the tree. Well, I did put a tree up this year. Usually I don't. This year I did. And I have been actually watching, and I never do this either, I've been watching Christmas shows. I've been on this Christmas um, movie kick. It's crazy. All right. So let's go to card number 2. Okay. So we have again our Knight of Navy, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. And we are going to hold it landscape this time instead of portrait. Okay. And then I am going to layer it up with a piece of, and let me just make sure I have the right one. I don't want to add the wrong. All right, that's the inside, I believe. Just got to check and make sure. Yep. All right, we're going to layer it with a piece of Knight of Navy. And this measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Then I'm going to add a layer of basic black, which is 5 1/4, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. And then I have again a piece of that Stargazing Designer Series paper. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. So this paper, even though it's so dark, it allows us, thanks Kathy, it allows us to brighten up the front of the card, right? And still have the starry sky. All right, so we're going to just put that aside for a second. And we are going to adhere our black layer to our Knight of Navy. All quick and easy cards tonight. I've been trying to get my Christmas shopping done, and I'm almost there. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get some painting done in my house. And it's taking me forever because I get sidetracked and I can't finish. And all right, so there is the front of, oh my goodness, 2 times of cookies and then you're all done. Goodness gracious, good for you. All right, so there's our card base. Next, we have our layer. Here are the snow banks. These are the snow banks from Horse and Sleigh, okay? And I die cut them in Knight of Navy. And then I have these cute little trees, and they are in Knight of Navy. And these are also from the Horse and Sleigh dies. And I cut out 3 of those. And then we have our layer. So let's pull out our mat again. Okay. And what we're going to do is we are going to start with the white this time. And we're going to use the large, the medium, and the small. Okay. And we're going to do the white first. So let me just open that up. Get our Versamark. And we are going to take our large explosive firework and ink it up with some Versamark. And we're going to add it to this corner here. All right. So that's our large. Then we're going to take our medium one, and it's right here. And I am going to ink this one up And we're going to add it to the front, this layer right there. Let's close, whoops. We'll close this up. Add our embossing powder. Let's just put this back. Actually, I did put the wrong lids on. Where's the other lid? Here it is. I had the white lid on the gold and the gold on the white today. All right, so here is our layer, and we're doing it, like I said, that's with our white. All right, so there are the white. We're going to let that cool for a second. Let's grab this. I'm going to put it there, here, and here. And I'm going to grab our Versamark again. And here is the smaller of the fireworks. And we're going to ink it up. And we're going to put one here. And here. And we're going to put one down here. Grab our gold. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's get this heated up. All right, so there are our gold and white. All right, while we have our embossing powder out, let's just take care of this one little piece. We're going to take the larger of the snow mound, and we're going to grab the Let's Celebrate stamp, and we're going to emboss it right on this snow mound. But it's our night of navy. All right, let's pull that off. Hopefully that'll turn out okay. Where's my tweezers? It'll be a little easier to lift it up. Not bad. I thought I pressed down too hard. All right, now we can emboss this. All right, So embossing should be done now. Yeah, I know I should use my tray. Let me just get this off the floor here. I have it hooked on my table so it doesn't burn anything. All right, so here's our Let's Celebrate. So let's pull our layer back in, and we're going to put our trees on first. And I'm just going to hold on to this, and I am just going to just make sure it's going to come out. We're just going to dot our trees. With some glue. We don't want to put too much, but we do want to make sure that it gets adhered to the card. Right? Okay, so we're going to take our first tree, and I am going to stick it right over here. Just make sure it's adhered down. And if you see any little spots that are up, you can always just add some glue to a piece of paper and stick it underneath, like that piece there. We'll just add a little bit of glue, stick it under that piece, and then hold it down. All right, so you can see there is that first tree. Then I'm going to grab my second tree. We're going to do the same thing. Now, if you wanted to use the adhesive sheets, it'd be much easier, but I figured I'd just glue it. All right, we're going to put the second tree right over top. So we're looking through that tree, and then we're going to take the third tree and do exactly the same thing. This time I'm going to pull it down a little bit. All right, so there's our trees. I'm just going to turn it over now and grab my scissors, and we're just going to trim this right to the edge of this layer. Just going to get rid of these because there's a little bit of glue on them. All right, so now our trees are even with the edge. And now I'm going to grab our snowbanks that I did in Night of Navy, so it looks like ground or mountains. And I'm going to add some dimensionals. These are the mini dimensionals, so I'm just going to add, let's add one more. Will it fit there? Yep. All right. And we want to add this. Let's get an idea. Right, I'm going to add it right to the end. It's going to come off the edge a little bit, but I want it even with the bottom of this card or this layer. It's not. Let's pick it up and fix it. All right, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to put this layer right on top of it. going to use the larger dimensionals this time. So we have one there. Let's move it over. And I'm actually going to add a bit of glue. Oops, so it catches that piece. All right. And then just, again, turn it over. I'm just going to trim off these little edges. Now we can pull our card base back in and adhere it to the front of the card. All right, so there you can see our trees. This piece has to come down a little bit. Just a little bit off. Let's take it off here. There we go. That's better. All right. Now for the inside, just as quick and easy. We have our basic white layer again. We're going to emboss our smallest in gold. So we'll do 1, 2. If you like embossing, this is the stamp set to get, because it looks awesome when it's embossed. Let's get rid of that powder. All right, let's heat this up. The only thing I don't like about the embossing is it warps if you don't have your heat gun heated up enough. All right, this time I'm going to take a larger die and I'm going to add it to this corner. So it's going to cut out some of what I embossed. All right, so we have our piece. Just have to get these pieces out. All right. Here's our native navy. Thanks, Kathy. All right, so we can see the native navy through. So let's just grab our seal and we're going to go around the edges. Now for over here, a piece of my hair, I'm going to add some glue so this corner adheres down. All right. Oops. Let's lay this in here. I love embossing, but all I feel now is embossing powder. All right, now I see right here it's sticking up a little bit. So I'm just going to grab that scrap. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I'm just going to stick it right underneath that layer and hold it and pull. So we get a little bit of glue under there. So it holds it down. It's flat now. And we can adhere this to the inside of our card. So did anybody take advantage today of the free shipping? It's such a great deal because shipping is pretty expensive. All right. So here is our first card, and you can see the trees. And then here is our second card. All right, just two quick and easy cards. If you send cards for New Year's, these are perfect. Yes, you did, Kathy. I mean, it's you can't pass it up for sure because it just you save so much money. You can get an extra bundle with the savings on shipping, right? I know you had just placed an order and I wish I had known about it, but we all found out about it the same day. They did not let us know about it in advance this time. The day I mentioned it was the day we found out. They should have let us know sooner. So those are tonight's cards. If you would like these make and takes, just place an order. Tonight would be a great night, and I will send you these make and takes, or you have until next Thursday. All right. I will be back tomorrow. We're going to be using the same stamp set for our Fun Fold Friday. It'll be a quick and easy card, but doing it just a little bit differently. So I hope to see you tomorrow at 10. Have a great rest of your night. Stay warm out there, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me tonight. Bye-bye.